Okay, here's a couple questions where they are asking for the amplitude. They're asking for the phase shift, and they're asking for, I think, vertical translation. Let me just look to see if I have the book going still. Amplitude, period, and phase shift. Okay, so amplitude, period, and phase shift is what we're going for. Amplitude, period, and phase shift. Okay, the amplitude is always the number that's in front of the cos or in front of the sine, whatever it is. So the number here in front is a -1, but the amplitude is just how far up the thing goes versus how far down the thing goes. So for example, in these ones here, this is the base cos graph, this red one, and so it's sort of the midline is this x-axis, so it goes up to 1 and down to a -1. But the amplitude is just saying how far from the middle does it stray. And so in this case here, since the number's 1 there, it strays 1. So the amplitude's 1. The phase shift, or let me do the period first, because that's what the question says. The period, you have a formula for that. And the formula is 2 pi divided by whatever's in the B spot. In this case here, whatever's in the B spot is this number in front of x. And again, this one's a 1, so my period would be a 2 pi divided by 1, or the period would just simply be 2 pi. Now, the phase shift refers to the c value. So I should have written out one of these to start with. So a cos bx minus c plus d. So the period is 2 pi divided by whatever's in the B spot. The phase shift is c divided by b. So if I look at c, that's the thing being added or subtracted from the x, and then b is what we just used. So in this case here, there's no number being added or subtracted beside that x, so c in this case would be 0, over b is 1, but that's still going to be 0. So there's no phase shift. Okay, so the whole graph doesn't shift over. Like the phase shift, let me draw a graph, something like that. The phase shift would be having this thing move left or right. Okay, so not stretching, but just moving left or right. Okay, so that would be your amplitude, period, and phase shift for this graph. Let's try one more. Here we got some better numbers with stuff. Okay, so this one, now it doesn't look like it's written in the right order. It's supposed to be y equals a cos bx minus c plus d. Looks like d's goofy. Let's just rewrite this. Y equals 3 cos pi x minus 3 plus 2. There we go. So this is a, this is b, this is c, and this is d. So to get my amplitude, it's always the number right in front of the cos, so the amplitude would be 3. If you look here, the midline is right about there, so it goes up 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it goes up 3 and down 3 from there. Amplitude's 3. Period, to get the period, you get 2 pi and divided by whatever b is. So 2 pi divided by b in this case is a pi. That's sort of odd. Oh well. B is a pi. So the pi's cancel out, and so your period would be 2. Okay, so 2 units, probably 2 radians. What's the other thing? Oh, phase shift. So phase shift you get by dividing c by b. Okay, my c value is a 3 divided by my b value is a pi. So my phase shift is going to be 3 divided by pi. In other words, and if you divide that, it'll come out to 0 point something or other. Anyway, what that is saying is it's taking the graph, the normal cos graph. I didn't put it on here, but let me maybe draw the normal cos graph. Normal cos graph starts at 1 and ends at 1, and it does that in 3.14. So here's 1, 2, 3, in 6.28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.28. So somewhere around in here. So at the start and end there, so it'll go sort of like this. I should have gone down earlier. Oops. Let's rewind. Okay, it's going to go through here and reach the bottom right there, and then go through right about there. Okay, So it'll come down like this, reach the bottom, come back up and go up to there. Okay, so that is one period. Notice that this graph here, its period is a whole lot shorter. And a period here is 2, so it starts and repeats things in 2 radians. So from here over to here, so here I go up, I come down, that's 1 period, and so that it does that in 2 radians. My phase shift in this case is 3 divided by pi, or 0. Whatever that comes out to, 9 something or other. So the phase shift, and the phase shift then, rather than starting here, it's being shifted over by almost 1. So rather than starting there, it should be starting here. And if you look up, it's had some other transformations, but the top is starting right there just before 1. Okay, hopefully that helps you with those questions.